Hello everybody, and just here and welcome back to Tokyo 24 Ku. Finally, after a week of a break, episode 7 of Tokyo 24 Ku is here. Now, I'm kinda scared to start it, to be perfectly honest with you, because the reason why episode 7 was delayed was. Let me find that article. Where was it? There it is. Yeah, it was apparently delayed by a week due to quality concerns. Now that scares me a little. It's not unexpected. I mean, it is a Cloverworks show, and overwork is in their name. They have like what 3 or 4 anime airing this season. They are really spreading themselves thin. So it's not surprising that at least one of the shows would suffer for it. Apparently, this time it's Tokyo 24 Ku. Now, I wonder what kind of quality concerns were there. People were concerned from the very beginning about the quality of this show, right? That apparently the art and the animation and all that stuff isn't quite up to snuff. Uh, Personally, I didn't really notice that much of it. Sure, there were some examples of wonky art or wonky animation. Some were pretty damn egregious, like that one scene with people in the foreground and in the background being drawn in a completely different art style and with pixelated edges. That was quite frankly terrible, but not quite the end of the world like people thought it would be. So I wonder what those quality issues were and if they dealt with them properly. Or is perhaps the show gonna take a sudden nosedive from this episode onwards? I hope this will not be the case, because I'm still interested in it. I still want to continue watching it, and I still want to see it to the end. But I want to do that because I want to do that and not because I feel like I'm obliged to finish this series. And if it gets really bad, I might be watching it more out of obligation than my actual desire to do that. Hopefully, it doesn't get to that point, but we'll see. Right. In the last episode, what happened in the last episode? It was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it's gonna keep throwing me off that week long break. That's why this episode is coming out late. By the way, I had a pretty stressful day yesterday, and that combined with this week of a break made me completely forget that Tokyo 24 Ku is coming out. So yeah, that's what breaking my schedule does to me. Once I break out of my schedule, it's really hard for me to go back into the swing of things. But we're here, and in the last episode, some weird things happened. Honestly, Kouki. The most important thing was that Kouki was shown that his sister is powering the whole prediction system, and he decided that, you know what, it's fine actually. I'm gonna keep working with my dad. I'm gonna keep working with the ARG or whatever they're called. And actually, that school, yeah, fucking destroy it. Why not? I'm one of the villains now. That's that's essentially what happened there. Koki decided that now he's gonna be one of the villains for some reason. It's super uncharacteristic for him, if you ask me, but he decided to join the villains. Beats me why. Also, the phones, the C phones or whatever, were updated with some new technology that will read more data and invade people's privacy even more, so that the prediction system can have better capabilities. And we all know that those better capabilities will not be used for good. They cannot be. I mean, We wouldn't have a show with those themes if invading people's privacy actually led to some good results, right? The very message of this show is that constant surveillance and giving up your right to privacy and giving all of your data, it's only gonna lead to a dystopian future in which you do not want to live in. So, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Right now, we are left with basically just Shuuta and Ran because Kouki joined the villains. And what's gonna happen next? It's anybody's guess. Oh, right, we also learned that Carniadis is Zeroth, the artist that was shown to be a huge inspiration and a mentor for Ran and for Kunai, may he rest in peace. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's a fairly decent summary of the previous episode. So now let's see what's gonna happen in this episode. Is it really gonna be that as bad as people thought this series is gonna be? Or is it gonna surprise us with amazing production quality because they got an additional week to work on it? Will the writing improve or will the writing continue to take a nosedive? Will Kouki join us again on the light side or will he don Darth Vader's helmet and speak with a, uh, breathy voice that Darth Vader spoke with? I don't know where I was going with it, but I went there. So let's give you guys some subs. Let's give myself some sounds. Let's untangle my wires. And let us start episode 7. It is episode 7, right? Episode 7. Let us start episode 7 of Tokyo 24 Coup, version by subs, please, in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, we're starting straight from the OP. That gives me a chance to apply some moisture. And that's mint tea with lemon. Uh, is the vignette new, or has the OP always had the vignette around it? I'm not sure. I'll have to go back to like previous episodes and see if they also had the vignette in the OP. Not the whole OP either. Maybe it always had the vignette. I'm not entirely sure. Kouki, you motherfucker. How could you have betrayed us? Right, and there's also Sakiko. Sakiko, who has some. I don't know about Sakiko, what her deal is. Her saying sorry to the machine, was it her trying to act on her own? Or was it her saying sorry that I'm sorry that we used your daughter like this? Or what's the deal? He told you it's hot. Oh, that's a big time skip. But He wants to spend time with his sister. However, yeah, 10% false positives. Of course. Yep. False positives were to be expected from the very beginning. I mean, that's not unexpected. That was weird. No, you're probably the most mature out of all of them, to be perfectly honest with you. Hmm. Oh, the mother of Asumi and Koki. Ran? Uh, advertising bread in Shantytown? I mean, if it works, it works. Is that Shuuta? Yeah, something like that would definitely work in a place like Shantytown. Yep. Oh no, right. Shuta was still a kid back then. And that's how Shuta came to like superheroes. Yep. You should become a hero. Yeah, nobody cares about names. Everybody only cares about the bread. Because there's no superhero show anymore. Is that it? Or is Shuuta lacking that special touch? Yep. Shuuta is lacking that special touch that his father had. Heart. You need to pour your heart into it. Maybe Mari's chest. You need to knead the dough until it resembles a chest in texture or shape. Asumi, Kozue, huh? Was painted over by Carneades. Yep. Cheer her up first, then worry about Carneades. You need to have your priorities straight. Problem is, Ran is on the run, and Kouki is the villain now, so who's gonna help you? Yeah. I mean, that was smart on his part. Not let her get involved. Is Carneades. Yep. I mean, he showed himself with a lot of, yeah, a lot of flair, so it would be weird if people didn't know about him. That's true. We still don't quite know the objective of Carneades. Even if, then he has no way to do that. From what, though? That it was a mistake and an affront to God. You don't. You're just following into your father's footsteps. You never had the resolve. The fuck is she doing here? What's with the frog lips now? She had such pretty lips, and in that shot, it looked like a frog. Shuuta, it's not that I don't understand, but you probably should be focusing on other things. uh, who that? Zeroth. Carniaris. Yeah, and you have pecs, not chest. uh, I wonder, is the is the chest thing supposed to be just a bit of comedic relief, or is it supposed to actually be relevant to the plot? Shu will have to touch someone's boobs to make the good bread so that the kids will tell him who painted this graffiti. Is that what's gonna happen? Show them the SMS, the message that it's about boobs. Explain yourself, Shu. Oh, Tsusuragawa. He's thinking of boobs. I mean, he's doing that because you're not. That's Carniadis. Mm, okay, if you know something, then call him and tell him. Again, communication. For fuck's sakes. Yeah, for the worse. And apparently he's a villain as well. And who's her? Part-timer at the public bath? Hmm. Yeah, you made that promise, now you need to keep it up. Bake bread during the day and be a superhero during the night. Yeah, he's dead. He drowned. Right. Ran is a terrorist. Kouki is a villain. Shuuta is dead. Okay, we're doing that now. Oh, it's Kinako. I didn't recognize her because she usually wears her hair differently. Yeah, this time he wants to make proper boob bread. Okay, so what the bread needs is a particular amount of force put into kneading it. Okay, he's gonna tell him who Carniadis is. Yep, it's gonna lead him to to Carniadis. Is Tsusuragawa working with Carniadis? Huh, that's an interesting thought. Put a pin in it. Could Tsusuragawa be working with Carniadis? You know what? I'm gonna take down the post-it note about Tact of Destiny. I'm gonna make a new one. Uh, Tsusuragawa. Wait, she's not listed like as Tsusuragawa here. She's Sakiko Korokuzono. What? Oh, after credits scene. Let's see it. An abandoned atelier. Not abandoned. The fuck are you on? What? Seriously, what? Uh, okay, I'm gonna take a note. Tsuragawa working with Carniades. What was that ending? Uh, let's go through this episode again, I guess, and analyze it a bit more. Maybe we'll come to some conclusions. I have no fucking clue what was this episode. Honestly, it. Oh man, the end. Um, the end left me with a feeling of emptiness, kinda. As if it was supposed to continue, but it didn't. But not in a cliffhangery way, but in a very empty way. There was an episode of Tact of Destiny that also ended that way. I remember this feeling really well. Huh. Yeah, let's go through this episode again. Although not much happened really. It was mostly all about bread. Oddly enough. That's what they needed one more week for? For bread? They needed one more week for this? Hmm. Uh, yeah, 2 months since the update. Of course, they are catching more criminals because of that, because of course they are. Uh, what's his face? Kouki is now moving to work on the hazard cast. He already gets like the top chair overlooking all the other workers because because he's his father's son. That's basically like the only reason. He went from a not even a part timer. He went from a what you call it, a temp at SARG straight to having like a high position at Hazard Cast. Tsuzura, okay, that's weird. Everybody refers to her as Tsuzuragawa here, but on AniList, she's listed as Sakiko Kurokuzuno. Sakiko Kurokuzono. Sakiko Kurokuzuno. Why? Why the discrepancy? Okay, show me how is she listed on Mal. I wonder if there's also a discrepancy like that or not. On Mal, she's listed as Tsuzuragawa Sakiko. And on AniList, she's listed as Kurokuzuno Sakiko. That's weird. That's weird. It probably has absolutely no bearing on the show itself. It just someone made a mistake, transliterated her Japanese name incorrectly. But wait, does he say Tsuzuragawa or I'm gonna go this mode so that there's no footage for a moment. I just wanna listen to it. Tsusuragawa. This Tsusuragawa. So why is she listed as Kurokuzuno? Is the spoiler? It's not her real name. She's really working with Carniadis, and her real name is Kurokuzuno? Or is Anil simply wrong? I don't know. Cover rate 80 something percent, accuracy is 89%, however, 10% of false positives, and that is an issue. That is a big, big issue with any and all systems like that. False positives. And it's the same with every kind of algorithmic system that is supposed to detect any sort of infractions. There is a lot of people being hit by it on, I don't know, social media or on Discord or wherever, where the system has a false positive and bans that person or removes a post or something. That was all well within the rules. And the process of appealing that is never, never, ever easy. And sometimes you can't fix it. There was many times where I wanted to share some tweet or some image or something, and Clyde or whatever this Discord bot is called decided that it was apparently, 18 plus, not safe for work, and disallowed me to post it for no reason because it thought that it's something not allowed. And it's really prevalent everywhere, and it's extremely hard to make a system that would be fully resistant to it, and that would result in 0% false positives. It's almost impossible. Only humans are capable of doing that, and even that, not always. That's why it's important to have some mitigation steps to that, right? If for example the percentage, the system gives you a percentage of how probable it is that a bit of media or a post or something is against the rules. If it's if it's above a certain threshold, it gets removed automatically. If it's below a certain threshold, it has to be evaluated by an actual human employee. That's one way to. That's one way to mitigate it. This is scary because this is a system used by the police. So, this 10% of false positives might end up with someone going to jail for no reason, for being innocent. It might lead to someone being shot for being innocent. The system predicted that that person is gonna murder somebody, so the police shows up. That somebody makes a that supposed criminal makes some move and the police shoots them. And oh no, I guess it was the false positive. It's scary. It's really scary. I personally usually would rather stray on the side of not detecting, not detecting a good part of crimes rather than detecting 10% of false positives. Uh, but of course, this is a dystopian world, so they don't care about false positives. I mean, Kouki kinda does, but not really. He just does what his father tells him to do, and he's a villain. Uh, for a moment, I had a brief thought that he went with all that to get inside of the Hazard cast and figure out what's the deal with Asumi and maybe dismantle the system from the inside. But he doesn't seem to be doing that. He doesn't seem to be trying to dismantle the system. He is very well, he's very much intertwined with the system. He's a part of the system. Uh, that's a little bit of a digression, but that's a very common phenomenon in general. When someone tries to join a system to make the system better, it rarely, if ever, works. It's much more probable that the system will eventually corrupt them. That's just how it works. I don't know if there have been any like trials and research papers written on the topic. There probably were, but I haven't bothered to find any. But it is an actual phenomenon that if, for example, you want to become a politician to dismantle the politics system from the inside and make the country a better place, chances are you're gonna end up as one of the politicians that someone other wants to dismantle. Someone other wants to get into the politics to dismantle the system and go against you. That's kind of like the I forgot the name of the experiment. The one where they split some students into pretend prisoners and pretend wardens. And the wardens very much took on the role of wardens and being cruel on the prisoners, even though it was all play pretend essentially. And humans are extremely easy to corrupt, extremely easy to corrupt, unfortunately. I will explain Drag D and Howard wins conspiracy. SARG is after them. Don't let go of freedom. Oh, that's a nice accent. The red letters make do red. And the white letters make ont let of film. The spub. No, not Spubby subreddit. The Speed of Lobster subreddit would have a field day with that. That's a lot of graffiti. No Kanai system. And yeah, there will be a referendum. But what will it change? And what will change after the referendum? That's also a very important part. Right now, the Kanai system is working well in the eye of the general public because more crimes are being caught. More criminals are being apprehended red-handed or even before they commit an actual crime. We're all safer. The Kanai system is really working, right? That's the general sentiment. So of course everybody will be will be voting in the referendum, saying that yes, we want the Kanai system. But once they all vote, suddenly Kanai system will be tuned up a little, and it's gonna start causing problems. 100%. It's always how it ends. Always with any votes, any referendums. Don't believe that stuff. Right? No matter where you are in the world, I'm certain that this is your experience with politics as well, right? Some political party or some presidential candidate comes in and says, I'm gonna make the world a better place, you're gonna get money, the schools are gonna get better, the working conditions are gonna get better, everyone is gonna get so rich and we'll have no problems, we'll be #1 country in the world. And then they get voted and the corruption begins. They do absolutely nothing. They actively work for the detriment of the country, and everything falls apart. That's always how it is. It's all well and good and all flowery words and lofty promises. Then comes the voting, and then none of the promises are being fulfilled. And yeah, the main theme of this episode seems to be the bread. I guess it serves to establish Shu as the hero and his kind of sort of obsession with being a hero, and establishes that it was thanks to Asumi, because Asumi suggested that he should become a hero. Haha, boob jokes. Carniadis shows himself. Can't contact anybody. Carniadis, Carniadis, Carniadis. Hmm. Carniadis is now in a graffiti war, committing crimes using current affairs for fun, perhaps. The graffiti war in itself seems like a diversion. What was that about? Yeah, I'm also interested. I have a feeling. And yeah, I have a feeling that Tsuzuragawa is gonna be the hidden hero of this series. She's gonna jump in last moment on her motorcycle and save the day. Let me note it down. Tsuzuragawa, last minute hero. There we go. I have a feeling that's what's it going to be. She was very much into this whole project back when Kouki's mother was in charge of it. Kanae. Yeah, back when Kanae was in charge of the project. Tsusuragawa was also believing in it. But now the project has been corrupted by Gori, by the governor. And Tsusuragawa kind of stuck with it through the sheer force of inertia. And she probably also didn't want to, expose herself. She didn't want to go against it because she wanted to continue working on this system, and perhaps even had an idea of changing it for the better one day. She seems like a good person, in other words, who is stuck in a villainous corporation. Well, it's not a corporation, it's a government, but you know what I mean. And here she is, near Carniadis's hideout. Now, Carniadis is completely, uh, mad from what I can tell. Maybe he has some good ideas, but I have a feeling that he is also he's on a completely other side of the spectrum from Gori, right? While Gori, the governor, wants complete control of the populace, Carniadis seems to me like a very idealistic anarchist. Someone who believes that once anarchy starts, the world is gonna be a better place with pure, unadulterated anarchy. He really does seem like someone like that. He believes in very what's the word? Um, fuck, I forgot the word for it. The unrealistically great, not idyllic. Mm, what's it called? Damn, I forgot the word. Uh, yeah, but yeah, he believes that everybody going for full and unadulterated anarchy is gonna make the world a better place. He is in complete opposition to Gori. Meanwhile, the truth is that the best solutions, as usually is the case, lay somewhere in between. Sure, we need a lot of personal freedom, but not to the point of complete anarchy. And sure, we need a lot of government influence, but not to the point of total control. Finding that middle ground, that Goldilocks zone, is extremely hard. And I'm not aware of any system, any country, any community, any bigger community in the world that would actually get it down to perfection. There are some countries and some governments that get close, but never quite where it has to be. So we are dealing here with two sides of the same coin, essentially. Now, why is Tsusuragawa seemingly helping Carniades, though? Is she also an anarchist, or is she trying to pit Carniades against Gori so that they may clash and something middling, something from the middle ground might emerge from that clash? I wonder, why did they draw her lips like this? Her lips look great here, but she looks like a frog in this shot. I think it's the rotation of the lips doesn't match the rotation of her face. Yeah, her lips should be stretched a little more to the left side, I think. Her lips are pretty here. Yeah, boobs, bread, boobs, bread. And here's Carniadis. Beliefs at times can be obstacles for justice. Only true ideals can be allowed to exist. Know that hesitation is the real evil against those who seek conflict. Every act of creation is an act of destruction in the beginning. Now, that is kind of true, especially when it comes to societies. You kind of have to tear down the current system to instill some new system. Otherwise, you're just dealing with iterations of the old system, and it's not quite the same. So he's correct here, but his what's the word? I'm missing so many words today. God damn it! His way too hyped, way too totalitarian, well too mad about it. I guess that's not what I wanted to say, but that's the closest I can do with my current set of words that I have in my head. Yeah, basically he's too much. Yeah, the bread isn't good enough. More graffiti. Yeah, we're gonna tell you only when you make the bread good. Booba, 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 booba. Now the war. What is this? OXH? OTH? I have no clue. Real Carnia, this isn't there. This motherfucker just appears out of nowhere and antagonizes Shuuta for no reason. Why? Booba, 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 Asumi, Asumi, Asumi. Oh no, oh no. Kiss, no. Father arrives dressed up as a French mime and chakra punches Shu in the chest and revives him. What? Yeah, the secret was pecs, not boobs. And now we're gonna tell you where Carniadis is. Hello, Carniadis. I simply placed the stencil. The ones who painted over the walls from hatred and desire are none other than yourselves. What the fuck is he on? What does it even mean? What does it even mean? It's a completely nonsensical statement. Well, maybe not completely nonsensical, but overly, like, metaphysical and philosophical. Because the truth of the matter is that he did paint over those walls. It was the physical action that he took. But he's trying to spin it as some universal truth of the cosmos kind of shit. I just placed the stencil there. The colors and the meaning of it is truly in your eyes. It was the hatred of society that provided me with paint of blood of the innocents. You know? I've got nothing. I've got nothing. Yeah, honestly. This was a very nothing episode. It kind of served to establish what happened after the events of previous episode, right? It's been 2 months, and the police is more efficient, and Kouki got a promotion, and Shuuta is baking bread, and all that stuff. It kind of served as to establish Shuuta as to establish why he is presenting himself as a hero, where he got that idea from. It kind of shows us his struggle a little bit, although by the end of the episode, that struggle seems to have been completely and utterly solved. It puts a little bit more suspicion on Tsusuragawa, and it officially presents Zeroth as Carniadis. But that's basically it. I can't say that the plot progressed by too much, particularly much. But then again, what is the plot at this point? Right? At the beginning, it seemed like it's gonna be a mystery kind of series where, for the first part of it, we get villain of the week or incident of the week kind of deal that our main trio solves, and the overarching mystery of what's the deal with Asumi giving them directions, right? I thought that's gonna be it. Then they split up, and I thought it's gonna be a story about them growing closer together, learning to work with each other, or perhaps some huge tragedy befalling them, and them having to go back in time or something to fix the past, to fix their mistakes. Now I'm not sure what it's about. What's the overarching story here? What's the main arc? We seem to have kind of completely threw away the Asumi calling them. It probably will be used sometime soon again, if for no other reason than bringing the RGB trio together. But it's in the grand scheme of things, it seems fairly inconsequential by now. Huh. The overarching story is the desire to control the populace by Gori and the dystopian state of this 24th ward. But we kind of even got rid of the villains, right? Because for a moment I even thought that it's gonna be the overarching plot is gonna be those Sunday morning cartoon villains who want to buy plots of land, and they will stop at nothing to buy this land and build pollution factories. But they're kind of forgotten by now. I don't know, it feels very aimless, very directionless to me. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. At the very beginning, I felt a clear direction of it. It did change a couple of times, sure, but it was there always. Now it seems very, very aimless, and I want to find out who's the script writer. Oh, oh, that's interesting. The script writer for episodes 1 to 6 seems to be different than the script writer for episodes 7 and onward. Oh, uh, okay. I'm gonna do this and this. And let's take a quick look at the staff. I have, yeah, Vio Shimokura was a script writer for episodes 1 to 6, and that was his one and only role, which is interesting. Script, who else? There's no script writer for episodes 7 and onwards? Huh. Hmm. Okay, and not everybody was loaded yet. That's a lot of stuff. Okay. No, the only script writer that's listed is Vio Shimokura, who wrote script for episodes 1 to 6. Did the staff change from episode 7 onwards? Oh, that's interesting. Hmm. I don't know what to think. That really threw me off. Is the staff not yet completed on the annual list? And the script writer for future episodes is gonna be put there? Or do episode 7 and onwards have no script writer and they're completely ad-libbing it? Now I'm really afraid for the future of this series. Is it gonna have a proper structure, proper resolution? Is it gonna have a main drive anymore? Or are they working on the vapors left beyond episode 6? It's a it's a one hell of a coincidence that after episode 6 they took a week of a break and the main scriptwriter seemed to have left the project. Huh. That's very interesting. But what's your take on it? I wonder. Tell me in the comments. Maybe you're more into the whole, staff and production side of the anime. Maybe you know more than just my cursory glance at Annalist pointed at. Let me know. What is, what's your opinion? Did you also feel like episode 7 onwards is fairly, at least like episode 6 and 7 in particular, was fairly aimless? Or do you see something that I don't? And besides that, how did you find the episode itself? Did you enjoy it? Did you not? Tell me all that in the comments. What you thought of my reaction, of my theories, all that stuff. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Um, Subscribe to the channel so you get notified of future releases. Besides Tokyo 24Ku, tomorrow I'm gonna be releasing Dolls Frontline. Then Symphogear episode 8 is gonna go live for you guys on YouTube, and episode 9 will go live on Patreon. Then it's time for Arifureta season 2, and on Mondays I'm doing Sabikui Bisco, which is an amazing, amazing, amazing show. Go and watch Sabikui Bisco. You will not regret it. You can also join my Discord server. It's open to everybody. Link in the description. Come, join, hang out, talk about things, about Tokyo 24Ku, about whatever else you want to talk about. We have those frontline community there and a Symphogear community there, so you will find your place, I'm sure. What else? Damn, this episode really threw me off. even when it comes to my outro. If you really like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon. A link is again down in the description. Any contribution at all gets you a role on my Discord server and an access to a Patreon-only channel. And the $10 gets you early access to non-seasonal shows. This season it is Symphogear. You will be able to watch it up to 1 week early. Share this video if you know someone who would enjoy it, and sharing this video really helps the channel. The more people watch the video, the more YouTube itself recommends that video, and the more audience I get, and the more people watch my videos, and the happier I am because of that. Yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Damn, I'm really left empty after this episode. Holy shit, it's not often. It's not often, but it really left me feeling empty. I'll try to fill that void with a donut and a cup of tea, maybe. We'll see. Maybe it will work. But that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Cheers! And this is another benefit every single one of my Patreon supporters gets. You get to be on the credits screen.